Hey there guys, welcome to the video. My name is Pushpinder Gill, and in this video we are going to be talking about the new SAT, and this is an introductory video on the new SAT and it's focused on the math section. So in this video we are going to be discussing the types of questions and the types of questions that you can encounter in the SAT math section, and also a little bit about the scoring part as well, and probably just the introduction of the math section, because it's very important for you to know what the math section has to offer before you actually get deep into that, right? So this is a video on the course that we're going to be making on the new SAT, the redesigned SAT, and that is for SAT from 2016 and onwards. So let's go ahead and get started, guys. So what has changed? Why is SAT changing? You know, there's so many questions that students have right now. You know, what was the problem in the previous SAT, and why is it changing now? Well, according to College Board, the redesigned SAT will ask students to apply a deep understanding of few skills and content areas most important for college and career readiness. So from what we can infer from here is that they will be actually testing you on some more skills before. So whatever skills that you were tested on the SAT before, here you'll be tested on more skills, and in fact you will be tested on a combination of skills. So like in the previous SAT you had only math and you're only English, but here you would be tested on various combinations of skills, and you'd be tested on more content areas as well. Well, the previous SAT, the old SAT, actually left out few content areas in math, such as, let's say, complex numbers of trigonometry or trigonometry, but now it actually includes a lot of content areas, a lot of new content areas which are actually added to the new SAT. Right. So what they've done is that from the old SAT, they've kept pretty much most of the things are same. It's just that they've made it more elaborated, they've made it more detailed, and your score report is going to be a lot detailed than just a few scores that you used to get in the previous SAT. Well, let's actually go ahead and discuss that in detail right now. No point in just pointing these things here. So let's move forward, guys. Now, let's understand the structure of SAT. Now, SAT, the total SAT time, your testing time is going to be of 3 hours. So you're going to be sitting there for 3 hours testing, right? So I'm not including the time for breaks. I'm not including the time for filling up those forms and everything. This is just crucial testing time. Now, your SAT is divided into two parts, that is your English section and in your math section. English section is going to be of 100 minutes and math section is going to be of 80 minutes, right? And in that you will get two different sections here. You will get your writing section, that is writing in language. You have your evidence-based learning section, which is your old reading section. So this is nothing but your old reading section, and this is your old writing section. Now, another thing that has come is that essay is something which is optional. You can actually either write the essay or you cannot write the essay. Well, I would say that you should write the essay, because this is an extra way in which you can actually convey to the university about your skills. So you should definitely write the essay. So that's there. But this is an optional, and you will get this essay at the end. I mean, you'll be writing this essay topic at the end. Now, another thing is, in math you have two types of sections. You have a calculator section and you have a non-calculator section. Well, this is something which is new to the SAT, which was not there in the previous SAT. So you would have to actually sit and solve 20 questions without a calculator. Well, that's going to be a tricky part for most of the students, which is why in our new SAT course we're actually going to be including some videos to improve your calculation, right? And for 20 questions you get 25 minutes here, and for 37 questions you get 55 minutes here. So my main focus for this video, it's this section right here, is the math section. We're actually going to be coming up with a verbal video as well, but right now my focus is on the math section, like what exactly is there in the math section, what is new and what old has been carried forward. Let's go ahead and understand that. So the total estimated time for the test is going to be 4 to 5 hours. Now, why I've added an extra hour? It's because you will be spending time filling up those forms. There'll be break time, so you can easily take the test to be 4 to 5 hours. So you should have that stamina, the mental stamina of staying active, mentally active for 4 to 5 hours. So that's actually also very, very important for students, which I think students have no problem in, because the school the school timings are such, the school life is such that 4 to 5 hours, it's okay for students. But again, you need that stamina. So moving forward, guys, I'm talking about the calculator section now. So what's up in calculator section? So in the calculator section, you're allowed a calculator, as the name suggests. So the content in that is that the question. So there are three, various topics that the SAT guys have actually introduced. They've actually introduced this name called Heart of Algebra, which actually tests you on algebraic topics. We're going to be discussing more on that. It has another thing that is problem solving and data analysis, and it has a passport to advanced math and additional topics. So these are the four different topics that they've actually come up with. So one is Heart of Algebra, another is problem solving and data analysis, another is passport to advanced math, and another is additional topics. Okay, so you're going to be getting 55 minutes for this section, and you're going to have a total of 38 questions in this section, right? So you're going to be having a total of 38 questions. Out of those 38 questions, you're going to be getting 30 multiple choice questions. MCQs are nothing but multiple choice questions, something that those questions were there in the previous SAT as well. So you would be getting 4 answer options, and you'll have to actually select one answer option out of those 4 answer options, right? So pretty standard, something that was there in the previous test as well, right? So nothing new there. So you'll be having 6 student-produced responses. What are student-produced responses? Are nothing but your grid-in questions. Now, what are grid-in questions? You're actually supposed to input your own answer. So let's suppose if your answer comes out to be x is equal to 4, so you would be given a box, and you just have to write 4 in it and move forward to the next one. So you don't have any answer options. This is again which was there in the old SAT as well, right? So nothing new here. Then the next type of question is extended thinking questions. Now, extended thinking questions are a bit complex, and they always, most of the times they come in pairs. So you would be given kind of a passage, a mathematical passage or a mathematical data, and you'll have to actually think a little bit on those questions. We'll be dealing with those kind of questions, but just to let you know that those 2 questions will always be different. So if let's suppose if you are practicing on your SAT, and every time you're getting 2 questions wrong, and you find that you're getting the last 2 questions wrong, or the extended thinking questions wrong, so you can actually practice on that, which is why the importance of watching this video is so that you understand what the SAT math test is all about, so that you can actually analyze your performance. So you get 30 MCQs, 6 students produced responses, and 2 extended thinking questions, which come in pairs. They're kind of connected with each other. So you have a total of 38 questions. Another thing that I forgot to tell you was that there is no negative marking in SAT. Right, something which is pretty good, which was there earlier, but now there is not. So there's no negative marking in SAT, which is actually a really, really good thing. We'll talk more about that as well. So you have the next section, which is your no calculator section. So you will not be allowed any calculator in this section. That's going to be pretty hard for some students, but again, we'll deal with it. You'll have to adapt. So again, you get questions from Heart of Algebra, you get questions from Passport to Advanced Math, and you get questions from additional topics. There are no questions from problem solving or data analysis. So that's a good thing. That's a relief. We'll be discussing what is Heart of Algebra, what is Passport to Advanced Math, and what is additional topics. Right now, you can just make notes that the no calculator section will not get questions from problem solving or data analysis. Again, you get 25 minutes for this, and you get a total of 20 questions. Right, I'm just going to verify, is that correct? Yeah. So you're going to get a total of 20 questions, and again, out of those 20 questions, you're going to get 5 student produced responses, that is 5 grid-in questions, wherein you're supposed to input your own answer, and you will be getting 15 multiple choice questions, right? So you get 4 answer options, and you're supposed to pick one out of them. Fine. So that's pretty standard. Okay. Now, what about scoring? So, as I said, as I gave you the big surprise that there is no negative marking in your test, right? So there's no negative marking, which is pretty good. But the scoring has become a little bit complex in the new test as compared to the old test. So in the old test, you just had one math score, that is from 200 to 800, right? Which actually came from your total of from your raw score that you made. So that was just it in the old test. But in the new test, it's pretty different. In the new test, you actually get the score as well. You actually get sub scores as well. Now, what do you mean by sub scores and what do you mean by score? Well, I'll actually talk about scores first. So there are total of 58 questions. There are total of 58 questions in the math test, isn't it? 38 questions in the calculator section and 20 questions in the non-calculator section. So you have a total of 58 questions. So let's suppose you get all the 58 questions right. Now, if you get a question right, you get one mark. So if you get all 58 questions right, your raw score is 58. So if you get a question right, you get one mark. Let's suppose you get all 58 questions right. Well, that's a nice feat to achieve, right? So you get all 58 questions right, you get 58 raw score. That would actually give your scaled score to be 800. So you get an 800 if you score 58. So let's suppose you score you get a question wrong, or you don't answer a question. Let's suppose your next score is 57. So this is probably going to be 780, right? So this is actually going to reduce and keep on reducing. So most probably I'm not sure that how it's going to reduce, but at a score of 49 you'll probably be getting somewhere around 690, right? And at a score of about if you score between 38 to 43, you will get somewhere between 600 to 640. If you score somewhere between 32 to 37, you will score between 550 to 590. So that's how it goes, right? So there's a score sheet which you can actually download from College Board, and I'll actually you can download from College Board. That will actually tell you. And if you write any practice test from any official practice test, that practice test will always have that scoring chart at the back of the test, so you can always measure your performance. Now it's become very easy now, because if you get a question right, you get a point. If you don't answer the question, if you get the question wrong, nothing gets deducted from your raw score. So that was your score. Now, what about the other scores? Well, here are your other scores. So this is kind of a report that you'll be getting. So you'll be getting a total score which is out of 400 to 1600. So let's in your English section, you would be getting from 200 to 800. And in math section, you will be getting a score of 200 to 800. So your total score is going to be from 400 to 1600. Right? So, and then you will be getting your section scores. That was I was talking about, from 200 to 800. That's your section score in math, right? And then you'll be getting test scores, right? So you'll be getting test scores, and for math that would be from 10 to 40. So that would be your test score, right? And then you would be getting your cross test scores. So your cross test scores would be analysis, based on selected questions in reading, writing, and language and maths tests. So these scores will tell you how well you use your skills to analyze texts and solve problems in these subject areas. So that would be from 10 to 40. And then you'll get some sub scores. So sub scores are going to be like in your what was your score in Heart of Algebra, in problem solving, in data analysis, and Passport or Advanced Math. So you would be getting a sub score in that. So probably it's going to be a pretty complex score report. It's not going to be like I scored an 800 or I scored a 780. So it's not that comparable now. You'll actually be getting so many different scores. So you'll be getting a total score, you'll be getting section scores, you'll be getting test scores, you'll be getting your essay scores, you'll be getting your cross test scores, and you'll be getting your sub scores. So these are all the kind of scores that you're going to see on your report card, right? So that kind of makes makes it very difficult to compare two scores. But again, that gives you so much data about yourself, and the universities also. So the universities are also able to compare two students on different scales, right? So it's not that if you got a 780 in math and someone else got a 760 in math, you can't say that 780 is greater than 760. He might have got 780 in different ways, and he might have got a 760 in different ways. Well, now the universities are able to see those different ways. They're able to see your strengths. They're able to see your weakness. So probably if you're applying for a business course, so then definitely your data analysis and your problem solving is very, very important. But let's say you're applying for a math oriented course, then advanced math is also very, very important. So all these scores are going to be useful for universities to actually get to know about you. Okay, so I hope that's fine, guys. Let's put that to past. So I hope that's understood. Now let's talk about those four different question types, right? So let's talk about those four different question types that I was talking about. First question type is heart of algebra. So again, it's also decided how many questions heart of algebra is going to have. Heart of algebra is going to have 21 questions. 13 questions will be in the calculator section, and 8 questions will be in the non-calculator section. Fine, so 21 questions, that's a hefty amount. Out of 58 questions, 21 questions would be heart of algebra. So that's almost about 20 over 60. That's almost about one third of the test, right? So one third of the test is going to be heart of algebra. These topics, so linear equations and expressions with one variable, linear inequalities with one variable, linear equations with two variables, functions and function notations. We'll be talking about all these: system of inequalities with two variables, system of linear equations with two variables. So all these are going to be in as part of heart of algebra. So that's actually there. So that's there, right? So these all things came in the old SAT as well, so nothing new in there. Let's move forward. The next thing is problem solving and data analysis. So as you can see, problem solving and data analysis is going to be having 15 questions, and all the questions will be in calculator section. So this does not come in non-calculator section. It doesn't come in non-calculator section. An extended thinking gradient question will be a problem solving and data analysis question. That is going to be worth 4 raw points. So that's actually a pretty important thing. So your extended thinking would definitely be a problem solving and data analysis question, and that will actually come from this bunch of data. So you can see now ratio, rates and proportions, scale drawings, percentages, unit conversion, calculating density. So this is something which is new. Scatter plots, linear, quadratic, exponential models, using graphs, interpreting graphs, exponential growth. So a lot of new stuff in here. You can see that was not actually part of the old SAT. So the new SAT actually has all these things. So pretty interesting it's going to be. That's definitely there. So that's there. The third question type is passport to advanced math. It's going to be having 16 questions, 7 calculator questions, and 9 non-calculator questions. So it's going to be more non-calculator oriented part. So these are the different types. So this is more of kind of geometry related problems, more of function related problems. As you can see, that it's more of function related problems. So if you have actually done taken math in high school, probably IB or Edexcel or any kind of math that you've taken in high school, these should be understandable to you. If you've not taken math in high school, well, we can actually you can learn that you can learn that at the SAT level very easily. It's not that big of a deal, but it will definitely require a lot of practice and a lot of understanding if you haven't taken math in high school. So that's actually very important. So these are all things there, right? So quadratic and exponential functions, determining the most suitable form of an expression or equation based on context, radical and rational exponents, algebraic expressions, quadratic functions. Some of these things might be sounding alien to you right now, but when we actually get started with the course, you would see that all these things are not as difficult as they seem, right? So as you hear them. So let's move forward to the next part. The another part is additional topics in math. So they have additional topics. So they've actually named it additional topics. So so they actually contain actually some topics which are not which were not part of SAT earlier. So there will be 6 questions in there, 3 in calculator, 3 in non-calculator. So you have application of the volume formulas, which was there in the old SAT, trigonometric ratios, new, Pythagorean theorem, not new, right angle triangles, not new, complex number, new, conversion between degrees and radians, new, arc lengths, chord lengths, sector areas, new, plane geometry, not new, similar triangle, not new, sine and cosine, new, coordinate plane, not new. So the SAT is becoming more like the ACT right now. It's actually testing you in a lot of math complex, because earlier the SAT was just a reasoning test. Now it has become more like a math test. So, but again, the good thing is that the test is predictable. You know what kind of questions are going to be there in the test, rather than as per the previous SAT where you had no idea what will be the percentage of different question types in your SAT. Fine. So I hope you understood. I hope this video was helpful, guys. And this video is actually part of a course which is going to be finishing up. We're going to be finishing up all the SAT, and we'll be finishing up the SAT, and we'll be making sure that we give you the best possible course for the new SAT. And so my conclusion and my summary would be that this test is it's good. It tests you on the on content rather than reasoning. So it's more predictable. It's definitely more predictable than the previous SAT, and however, it will require more practice, because in the previous SAT you could rely on reasoning to crack the question, but here it's becoming a little bit more content oriented. But still, we have those techniques which we used in the previous SAT still apply here, right? So, but in a different way. We're actually going to be learning all that in our course right here. So I hope that course will be helpful to you, and it'll definitely be helpful. That's a given. So before we move forward, guys, this is our email address, that is support@perfectscourse.org. This is our website to explore more about us, and this is our Facebook page to give us your valuable like. So I hope this video was helpful to you guys. Thank you very much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.